Divider комментарий.
Okay, let's wait for 1 or 2 minutes before we begin. Okay, let's start. Let me turn on the presenter. Okay, today's topic is healthy lifestyle and habits, simple practices for the day. Exercise is a huge topic, and I split it into multiple meetups. Yeah, so let's begin. Topics of today. What we'll talk about exactly today. What is chronological and biological age? We'll talk about sedentary lifestyle and cardio training. What cardio guidelines we can use to improve our lifespan? What we can do, and try to make it as simple as possible. Now let's talk about types of age. Yeah, there are basically two types, right? So one is well-known is chronological age. It's just the number of years you have lived, how many times you rotated around the sun. And the biological age, it's how old your body truly is based on various biomarkers of aging. There are a lot of biomarkers, and with progress of science, it gets more and more detailed. There are right now quite a lot of them. But yeah, basically how it works, you just go to the lab, do blood work, and they can check some of those biomarkers and say approximate your biological age. Yeah, it's like in general, what's your age? Good is when you're younger than your chronological age, and bad is when you're older. Yeah, and let's make a small example. For example, we have two people. They're both chronological age 50. First one, sleeps well, exercises regularly, have good nutrition, yeah, don't sit the whole day and have some activity like, I don't know, hiking, whatever, just have some activity. Sleep, nutrition, and other things. And another person doing pretty much opposite. He has a poor sleep, slightly overweight, eat processed food like some fast food and stuff like that, and has almost no activity, basically like sedentary lifestyle, spending the whole day in the office or at home. And yeah, and what we can say about their chronological age, they can be quite different. For example, if a person has a good lifestyle, he feels good, he has more energy, sleeps better, his body ages slower than, for example, in another person, or slower than it could be. So his chronological age could be like 40 or 45. And it's pretty well known right now that that's the case, that people who has pretty good habits, they have biological age less than chronological. And another person who has poor lifestyle and poor choices like bad sleep and bad nutrition, no exercise, no activity, has chronological or biological age, let's say about 60. So even though they have the same chronological age, they one's way older because that's how he feels. So he feels older. He can't do the same activities because he's not fit enough, and yeah. So that's quite important. And yeah, right now it's quite popular. Like 50s is the new 30s, and if you have right habits and take care of your body, that can be really true. Let's go next point. Yeah, exercise is like brushing your teeth. You need it for health. As you pick brush and toothpaste you like, pick type of exercise and activity you like. I think that exercise should be the same habit as we do with brushing our teeth, because for some reason from childhood we thought that it's important, and it really is. But the same as exercise and good nutrition and other things. And I hope that in the future we'll be like we'll have some habits with some activities from childhood, and we'll be able to continue to do that, and the knowledge will be more widespread about that. Sedentary lifestyle. Yeah, and lack of need. Need is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's basically the time when you just sit passively and not exercise, not do any activities, like just sit in a chair, like I'm right now, in the office at work, working from a computer, and not moving at all. There are a lot of studies, like I don't know, thousands, probably hundreds of them, that point that sedentary lifestyle is a very bad habit uh, of our generation, because people before computers, they didn't have a lot of time to spend just sitting. They did some work in factories, on the field, gathering, moving around all day, right? And now we have, like, I don't know, probably 70 or 80% of us spend 8, 10, or even more, 12, I don't know, hours just sitting. Doesn't matter, like in front of a computer or what else, and and it's not very good for our health. First of all, because our body, it's supposed to move, and when you sit, there are a lot of metabolical uh, discrepancies. Just makes it more poor. So our body needs to move. What we can do with it? We can do, first of all, make some rests, at least one or two, every 1 or 2 hours, a few minutes, ideally like from 1 to 5 minutes, to do some activity. It can be walking, I don't know, do some squats, walk up some stairs, do some push-ups. Try to make it not just pure not sitting, like just standing, but try to make it some activity to elevate your heart rate. So like going up the stairs, for example, you in the office, go to the stairs, get 1 or 2 floors up and down, perfect. It's 30 seconds, you elevated your heart rate, perfect. You can do jumping jacks. For me, I prefer some jumping jacks. It's or squats. You can do it without much space, and they're pretty active, and it don't look too weird, like if you, for example, start to do push-ups in the office. So it's fine. and it should be like 30 seconds, 1 minute. If you just prefer walking, it's also fine, but better to extend it like from 1 to 5 minutes. Just walk around, stand, I don't know, go watch some, I don't know, look out the window so your eyes rest. What else we can do? Daily walking. Try to aim for about 8 to 10,000 steps a day. Doesn't matter if you do it like every 1 or 2 hour 5-minute walk, or you go once in a day, for example, in the morning, or in the evening you go for like a 1 hour walk to get all 8 to 10,000 steps. Doesn't matter much, but probably better to do at least some breaks between your work for some activity. If you do some exercise snacks between your work and then just walk in the evening, that's also fine. Or you walk, I don't know, to your work, to your job office, or after, it's perfect. It's fine. But there's also a bunch of studies that investigated lifespan and mortality. Basically, people who walk at least 8 to 10,000 steps a day, they have like 30% decreased mortality from all causes, and it's really quite a lot. And 10,000 steps is not that much, to be honest. Yeah, even if you walk around at your home, or I don't know, going to your work, it's already a few thousand. Yeah, grocery shopping. Just try not to spend just sitting all the day. And more general activity, yeah, right. Stand or pace during phone calls. Use stairs rather than elevators. Stairs are perfect, to be honest. If you don't need like to go to the 10th floor and you just need 1 or 2 floors, perfect. Try to use stairs, at least when you go up. Up is the most useful because it's challenging. It elevates your heart rate. If you go down, it's also fine, but it's not that challenging, right? So yeah, if you went like, I don't know, a few times a day, 1 or 2 flight of stairs, perfect. That's nice. You can do that. And yeah, just keep some activities. If you have opportunity to have a standing desk, or I don't know, something like that, it's also great because you don't sit. It's different activity. Maybe you just walk around while you wait for something, or like on a call, instead of just sit on one place. Okay, now let's the more general longevity and health. Yeah, exercise, it's not just about weight. Fitness is a key factor. Also, there were a lot of studies, and the conclusion is people which are slightly overweight but exercise, they're in a better shape. In general, have a less mortality rate, I would say, from all-cause mortalities than people who are not overweight but don't exercise. So it's not like if you are overweight slightly or more, then you need exercise. All people need exercise, and yeah, it will, of course, it will help you to shed some weight and get more shredded in general, more muscular. But even if it's not your goal, you still need exercise, at least at some moderate level. Yeah, and physical activity also help to improve both physical and mental health. Also, a bunch of studies. I won't talk about it right now, but there are a lot of influence from physical activity that helps to improve your mental. Now let's talk about cardiovascular health and VO2 max. First of all, let's start with VO2 max. What is that? I don't know if you heard about that. It's more in cardio training community, widespread, right? With runners, cyclers, rowers. Yeah, VO2 max is maximum oxygen uptake during exercise. To put it simply, when you breathe, there is a limited amount of oxygen that your body can absorb. For example, it doesn't matter how much if you get how much you get with your breathing, your body still can absorb and process only some portion of oxygen. And the higher the VO2 max, the more it can process. Why it matters? Higher VO2 max correlates with lower cardiovascular risk. We'll talk about the numbers in the next slide. And measurement. How you can measure it? There are a few options. First one is lab test. You go to some lab, they have special equipment, they put basically a mask on your face that will measure the amount of carbon dioxide that you breathe out. It can help. Another one, the simplest one, in my opinion, is just smartwatches. Garmin, Apple, whatever. You can just put smartwatch. Usually they ask you to do some activity like walking or running. I think usually walking is also fine if you walk in steady pace for like 15-20 minutes, especially if you can turn on your GPS, it's fine. And they can say your approximate VO2 max. It's not very precise, like I would say about plus or minus 5 points, but it's still a good guideline. So you know whether you're in a good place, you need some work on VO2 max, and just to understand your level. And another one is the Cooper test. Basically, it's running 12 minutes non-stop at maximal speed as fast as possible. And once you run for the 12 minutes, you need to measure the distance that you're able to run. Right? As far as I remember, it's for the 50 or 60 points, you need to run about 3 kilometers within 12 minutes. So it's quite a lot. And of course, not all people like running, and not all people are ready to run 12 minutes with high intensity. So depends on your goals, and but it's also like pretty not very precise, I would say, because some days you have more motivation, you can push for further. Weather and how sleepy you are, it also all depends on your result. So the best probably is lab test, but wearable and Cooper test are also fine. Go to the measurements. Untrained adults, moderately trained and highly trained. Those are the numbers. It depends on age, right? So I would say here about for the age 20 to 40, maybe about age 30, because with age VO2 max starts to drop, and it's good to have like to be on the top 20%, so you'll be able to drop it slower. And of course, you can build it up. We'll talk about it. So even if you have, for example, you're in untrained, like men, for example, and if you have like 30, 35, you can build it up to 50, 60. It's just the matter of training and time that you need for it. Of course, it also depends on your age, but mostly you can improve it quite a lot. And about VO2 max. Why it's important to know your VO2 max level? Because if you go below 18 for either gender, it often suggests difficulty with everyday tasks. So it's difficult to go up the stairs, do some groceries. So basically, it's getting hard to do that, and you won't be able to do it quite easily alone. And so better to have it as high as possible. And improving aerobic fitness, you can do it, through regular cardiovascular exercise mostly, via strength and hypertrophy training also, I would say slightly, but mostly you need to focus on cardiovascular exercise to improve VO2 max, and it will help make daily activities easier, especially if you have it like on the low level. It will give you more more endurance, more strength to do your daily activity. And then the cardio guidelines. What guidelines we currently have? Those are from the health agencies, health organizations. So they're more like it's the most widespread ones. Moderate activity, 150 to 300 minutes per week at 50 to 70 max heart rate. Let's put it simply. What does it mean? It can be walking, but preferably not like very slow walk, but more like vigorous walking. So just walking like, I don't know, 4 kilometers per hour. So like quite fast to elevate your heart rate slightly, because if you just walk very slowly, it won't be the same. So walking, like very slow jogging, very slow cycling. So like some activity. It's also called the zone 2 cardio, I would say. And yeah, basically this is the activity where you can do the activity and comfortably talk with some other person without always trying to catch your breath because you're out of breath. Yeah. So the best example for me is just brisk walking, about 4 kilometers per hour. It's sufficient. And of course, if you walk 8 to 10,000 steps a day, it's like an hour, about an hour, or maybe an hour and a half. So you do pretty good if you walk at the pretty good pace. So brisk walking, you are good with that, with moderate activity, even with walking. Again, now vigorous activity is 75 to 150 minutes at 70 to 85 max heart rate. It's a bit harder. It's also like slow jogging, about 8 kilometers per hour, cycling 15-20 kilometers per hour. So not like very vigorous, but also quite intense. Yeah, you can do, the best would be to do both of them, both moderate and vigorous activity. You can do, I don't know, one day, like at least once a week, some vigorous activity, some cycling or jogging, something like that, or rowing, whatever you prefer. Or maybe you do some sport like tennis, or it also elevates heart rate. We'll talk about it later. Yeah, in general, they suggest to do either 150 to 30 minutes per week of moderate activity or vigorous activity. So it's 2 times less, 75 to 150 minutes. But in general, opinion is to do both of them and to have at least some vigorous activity to increase your heart rate, of course, if it's safe for you. And consistency is key for boosting VO2 max and overall heart health. Now, training modality, steady state versus HIIT. Steady state training, moderate intensity for 20 to 60 minutes. That's basically what we talk. Just walking, brisk walking, jogging, cycling, rowing, some activities that you do monotonously. So basically for a long time. Like you went for hiking. Also, if you like hike for a long time, it's also sometimes depending on the difficulty from moderate to high intensity. From to vigorous activity. It helps to build an aerobic base and enhances your recovery in general. And it's also high intensity interval training, so-called HIIT. It got popular a few years ago, maybe like 10, 20 years. Probably you saw some videos on YouTube. It's short bursts from 90 to 95% of max heart rate with recovery intervals. It's efficient way to improve VO2 max in less time. Let me make an example. For example, you do some, I don't know, burpees or something like that for 20 seconds, then you have rest 20 seconds or 10 seconds. Then you have again some other exercise for 20 seconds, then 10 seconds rest. and you do it, I don't know, depending on the workout, usually for like 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. It's shorter because I would say it's higher intensity, right? So it's like more like vigorous activity, and you do it usually like for 30 minutes. So it's probably faster than to do like 1 hour of cycling. So it depends on what you like, and yeah, just pick whatever you prefer. Maybe try multiple options and see which one better for you, and just do it safely. Maybe talk to your medical professional who can advise you. And basically, yeah, that's all for today. Yeah, what's next? And Q&A session. Next will be hypertrophy training, strength training, and we'll talk about injury prevention in the next meetup. That's all. If you have any questions, please write. Okay, since no questions, thank you everyone who joined, and have a nice day. See you. Hope to see you on the next meetup.